Okay, so how do we name a halogenated alkane? Well, actually, there's two ways to do this, and I was going back relearning this. I was kind of surprised. I forgot that there were actually two recognized IUPAC names. I thought one was an industrial name. So one is considered the functional class nomenclature, and the functional class nomenclature is the idea that we're going to use this chlorine to designate what carbon 1 is, and we're going to pick the longest carbon chain from it. So if we look at this compound, if we want to use the functional class name, we're going to say that this is carbon 1, and then we want to go with the longest chain, 3, 4. Now, yeah, for those of you nitpicking, we can drop down to that one, say that's 4, and that's a CH3 group. It's not going to change your answer. So, like any carbon chain, we're going to name the functional group. So we have a dimethyl, and we're going to have, in this case, 1,3-dimethyl, just making sure. Name of the long chain, butyl chloride. So this is the functional class naming, and in the functional class naming we use the halogen to designate the first carbon. We name our branches as we normally would, and then we name the parent chain as a butyl, or ended with a YL, name the carbons YL, and then the halogen that's substituted. Now, I typically only see this for monosubstitution, so if we have more than one chlorine, this functional class naming doesn't work as well. So there is a second one, and this is substitutive naming. So substitutive naming, we draw the compound here. Is we're going to treat chlorine and any branches equivalently. So they are basically going to be named as if they were a branch. Now, we're going to follow the same procedure we did before with branched alkanes. So we have, look at our longest carbon chain, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is pentane. We got chloro and methyl, so they need to be listed in alphabetical order. Chloro, methyl, and then we need to number. And it's going to take the same numbering procedures that we did before. We have two options. We can start here or here. If we start here, this ends up being 2-chloro, 4-methyl pentane. If we go the other way, it ends up being 4-chloro, 2-methyl. And we want to number the carbon chains in such a way that we minimize the number at the first change. So since chloro comes first, we're going to minimize the number of the chloro. If for whatever reason we had a functional group that came before this, we would minimize the number of the functional group first. But these are our two options. Both are recognized by IUPAC. The first method, the functional group, functional class nomenclature, typically I've only seen that done for monosubstitution. So if you, in this case, you had 2 chlorines, you would prefer to go with the substitutive class because it's a little bit easier. This would be 2-chlorine, 2,3-dichloro, 4-methyl pentane. So use the substitutive naming class if you've got more than one halogen substitution. Again, both are recognized, both would be considered correct, but you do need to be able to recognize how to name it from the chemical formula.